Hey, what's going on YouTube? So I'm going to give you my picks and some of the games I like, some of the games that I see that has a lot of value. I'm going to go down the list, tell you what I like in each game, and we're just going to take it from there. This Rams game, I do like the Rams with the 2.5. I would like to get them at a 3.5, just getting past that key number of 3. But let me show you what I did see here if you're more willing to take more of a risk. But as I'm looking, give me 1 second here. As I'm looking at these totals and the spread, I'm like, this is actually really good value. So this is what I found. This is actually in parlays. Then you're going to look at line total points, parlay number 6. And then here you have 105. You got the Los Angeles Rams with the plus 4.5 and over 44.5 points. That's good value with the spread, in my opinion. Also good value with the over, in my opinion, as far as 44.5 between what these two teams can actually do. So going back, let's go back to the next game on the list here. But I do like the 3.5 just to solidify, just in case, hey, if the Rams, something happened, if somebody gets hurt, at least they still have a shot. Just throwing that out there. The next game, if you've been following my videos, you do know I do like the Steelers with the 6.5. If you haven't been paying attention to the Steelers offseason, they did get Brian Flores, which was the head coach for the Miami Dolphins. And if you go back and look at what he did defensively with that team, this is actually a really good number when it comes to +6 in value. Also, not only that, but I feel as though the Bengals, they're pretty much on a they beat them twice last year. We're gonna say that they beat them twice, and with Mike Tomlin getting beat twice by 15 plus points, that's going to leave a bad taste in his mouth. So I'm looking at them to actually win this game, the Steelers, and to at least have a little revenge about what happened last year, because he got beat. They got beat bad. So that's my take on it. As far as over and unders, it's a toss up for me. It could either go over or under, because you have Mitch Trubisky. I think he's going to give a little more offense. Then you have wide receivers coming into their second year, and you have a halfback coming into a second year too, which are going to be a little better, as well as they're going to be a little more experienced this year around. Then we have the Eagles and the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions with the 3.5. Now, this game I kind of stayed away from. If I'm going to make a bet, I'm going to go with the money line with the Eagles. But this 3.5, I'm kind of feeling a little iffy. This total went up. I think they were getting 46.5, I believe. And that 46.5 was kind of interesting, because I think I made a bet on that 46.5 to the over, but this 48.5 is I'm not really feeling that one. But I do like the Eagles. If you can get them down to like a 2.5, go to alternate point spreads and get them down to a 2.5, I believe that will be the bet to make as far as if you need a spread number. Other than that, I'll just go ahead and bet the money line myself. That's just my opinion. I'm not going to really go through each one of these as far as changing the total or whatnot, but you get the drift. I do like the Eagles with the money line if you don't want to change the number at all. So let's go down to the next game on the list, if it'll pop up for me. All right, so here we go. Next game on the list. We already did the Eagles. Then we already talked about that. Let's go ahead. The Colts and the Houston Texans. Now, again, I'm not sure what kind of team Houston's going to be this year. I think they're going to be a lot better than they were last year. I was looking at the numbers earlier, and them against the spread last year, I think they were 4-2 as far as covering the spread last year. This is going to be an interesting matchup, because you're going to have Matt Ryan on a different team. You got a new head coach for the Houston Texans. I do have the Colts winning. I mean, if you're going to do a money line, definitely do 2 money lines. Then wagered that way. Put these in a 2-game parlay, in my opinion. But with a divisional opponent with past the key numbers, it's just too much for me. I know the Colts are really good. It's just the potential of what Houston can be. I'm looking at the Houston Texans offensive line, and I am impressed. They have some studs on that offensive line for Houston. Defensively, they did draft the number 1 defensive back this year. That's gonna have that's a plus for Houston, should I say. And I mean, other than that, I just have to go with the money line with that one. As far as over and under, it may go to the under. And then, I really don't know how Matt Ryan is going to come out. Is he going to come out throwing? I'm sure he's going to be playing football, but he's been on the Falcons for most of his career. This is his new team change. I don't see him having an issue as far as chemistry is concerned. I mean, you've seen it with Tom Brady when he went to Tampa Bay. Those first 2 weeks, he was just trying to get on the same page with his team. I'm looking at the same thing with the Colts. I'm still thinking the Colts is going to win, but it may be a little closer than advertised. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I do like the Colts with the money line. New Orleans Saints. We got the New Orleans Saints and the Falcons. I do like the Saints. I did take the -5.5, and I mean, and then the defense is just good too. I mean, I might even go with the under with this. I think that might be even a shutout. It might be over a lot sooner. Again, this is a divisional opponent. It's kind of hard to put your money on the line when it comes to divisional opponents. I mean, unless you're getting tremendous value, in my opinion. But I did take the 5.5. As far as over and under, I want to go with the under due to the information I did see over the course of the off season. But I'm not gonna make a totals bet on that game. The Ravens and the Jets. Well, the Ravens, I'm not sure if you can actually see my power rankings. So the Ravens, I did get them at a 2.5 with the over of 50 points. Then the Jets are starting Joe Flacco from what I've seen. And with that being said, I mean Baltimore. I mean, it's 7.5, a lot of points for a Jets team, and you have Joe Flacco playing. No, it's not. It really isn't. It's just the Jets. They somehow last year they put up a bunch of points. They were an odd team that I couldn't put my finger on, me personally. But can the Ravens cover the 7.5? Absolutely, they can. So if you want to make that bet, go ahead. Me personally, I'm not making that bet. I don't feel comfortable with that bet at all. And looking at the wide receiver situation for the Baltimore Ravens, I don't like it. So if you feel like they can make that bet, feel like their defense can stop the Jets, by all means, go ahead. But me personally, I'm not making that bet. Over and under. Again, some games the Jets just exploded with points, and you're like, where did all of this come from? But that's just my opinion. I left that game alone as well. The New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. I do like the Patriots with the +3.5. I think that's good value. And I do like the over. Actually, I think this is the game right here. Over 46.5. I do like the over in this. With the talent the Miami Dolphins has and the Patriots, I know what you're saying. The Patriots does not look that appeasing, but they still went 10-7, and Mac Jones had a good season last year. And then this season, I think this is just a system team. As long as the team is in that system, I feel like they could score a bunch of points. So I'm going to go, if you're going to make a play, I do like the +3.5. If you want to tease that down, I don't blame you. But divisional game, new head coach for Miami. Patriots is getting +3 with Bill Belichick. I think that new head coach will get outcoached a little bit, trying to figure out what their identity is, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel. So I do like the plus 3.5, and I'm gearing more towards the over. Not saying that I'm going to bet the over, but I do like the 46.5 as far as the over is concerned. Actually, here, let me look at this real fast. Let me look at something. Hopefully it doesn't cut you off. As far as over and unders is concerned, and away games last year for the Patriots, let's just take a look right here. Give me 1 second. Bear with me for a second. The Patriots. After a win, Patriots. Why do I not see it? Here it goes, New England. So they were almost 50%. Almost 50% to the over. 55 to the under, actually. 55% to the under. So, I mean, it's possible. It's possible that they can go to the over. I'm not gonna, stress over it. I'm just not gonna, make that bet, me personally. But we had the Cleveland Browns and the Carolina Panthers. Cleveland Browns, Carolina. I like Carolina in this. I like Carolina. Let's talk about the Browns, right? Let's talk about their defense. They have a good defensive team. They do have Amari Cooper. They do have a quarterback, a second string quarterback who's pretty decent, who could come in and manage the game without giving you that many turnovers. They do have Hunt and Chubbs, so they are still a danger. The thing is, Baker Mayfield is coming in. Can the Cleveland Browns stop Baker? Can they actually do what they need to do to give Baker a run for his money? And they can. I'm sure they kind of know his mannerisms a little bit. I do like the So, me personally, I'm going to go with the 1.5 with the Carolina Panthers. That's going to be a little bit of a gamble as far as value, but I do like the Panthers in this one. I'm looking at the defense for the Carolina Panthers. I'm looking at the halfback with Christian McCaffrey. He's an X factor. I think the Carolina Panthers won a bunch of games with McCaffrey alone. So with him, Baker, and the defense the Carolina Panthers have to stop in Brissett, I think they're going to have a good game. And that 1.5 is a good value, in my opinion. I believe it's a little bit of a gamble, but I do like the 1.5. But if you don't like the points, you can always go with the money line. And I think the money line is the better bet. San Francisco 49ers and the Chicago Bears. This is going to be a hard one too, because you have Trey Lance. Trey Lance, to me, isn't proven yet. I have to see him play a little bit. The Chicago Bears, just got bad. They lost a couple people. They just got bad. But San Francisco have some issues on the defensive side of the ball. I think Ward, he's going to be out. Again, I think this game might be a little closer, but hopefully Lance can go off. If you need to make a bet, I'll just stick with the money line. I'll stick with the money line because I don't know. Actually, I'm not even gonna make a bet. I know I did in some of the parlays I did. Again, those were just for fun. But if you're talking about serious money, you can't possibly make a bet without knowing how Lance is going to perform. And the Bears, I mean, you can guarantee the Bears are just the Bears. Let's just say that. But moving forward, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, you got the Washington Commanders. And I do like the Jaguars in this. Jaguars had a quiet camp. You really didn't hear much from them other than players are coming back. Washington, somebody got shot. Robinson got shot, I think, over a weekend or something like that, which is kind of messed up, but glad he's still with us. There's just a messed up situation all around. You never want to see that happen. But I do like the 2.5, and if you can just bump this up to like 3.5, that will be ideal. Maybe you can look at one of them parlay bets. Haven't looked myself, but I do like that. I do not have a total for this game. I'm gearing more towards the over. If you're going to bet anything with Wentz and Jacksonville, I do like the over in this one. So 2.5. I'm going to go with the points. Raiders and Chargers. I do like the 3.5 from the Raiders. And I do like the over. That I do like. Devontae Adams. And then that defense. And you have Herbert on the other side. Yeah. I mean, that's what I like. That's what I like. You have New York Giants and the Tennessee Titans. I do like the under in this game. I do like the under. You're missing the number one wide receiver. Giants just haven't been able to do what they need to do, and they lost a bunch of linebackers. I think they lost two main linebackers, and that -5.5. I think this might be a blowout, especially if Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones, and as far as turnovers is concerned. Let's go the Chiefs and the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals is getting really good value for this. Colt McCoy is on injury, so if Murray gets hurt and he can't come back in, that will be a good live bet for the Kansas City Chiefs, especially if the Chiefs are down. But that 5.5 is really good value. This over 53.5, man, I think that number went up by 2 points. But yeah, I do like the over if it was like at 50. But that's good value right there. I think this one is a little too much in my opinion. As far as the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings, Lazard has an undisclosed injury. I just seen it, and it's just gearing more towards the Vikings. I do like the points and the under. I am gearing more towards the under. If I'm going to do any bets, I'm gearing more towards the under, even though the Minnesota Vikings can light it up. But I'm not even gonna waste my time with the totals. I'm just gonna go with the 1.5 for Minnesota. And shoot, I might as well go with the money line, because without Lazard, you have Sammy Watkins, 1 or 2 hits. I'm kind of worried for that guy. So it's gonna be a tough outing for the Green Bay Packers starting off. It's gonna be, I think, a little more of a defensive matchup. So now you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. Tell you the truth, I feel like they're kind of on the same level. The only bet I like in this one is the over. That's the only one. I mean, I know they have Julio Jones, but they have offensive line issues. Dallas had offensive line issues until they signed Peters. And man, I mean, can you really like the Dallas? And I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I'm gonna go with the Bucks with the 2.5. Actually, no. If you're gonna go with the Bucks, go with the money line. Go with the money line. I have to go with the money line with the Bucks. And then you have Denver and the Seattle Seahawks. I got Denver at 5.5. It already went up to 6.5. I do like the. I was gonna say the under, but 6.5. That might be a little too much. So let's go with the money line. And you know what? No, let's go with the points. I got them at 5.5. I got them early. They did go up. I don't see this game being close at all. Not with that defense from Seattle. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys. Yeah, that's all I have. I might put out some of the bets. I know I showed you that one bet earlier, but that's what I like for today. But like, subscribe, share, and I'll keep you updated on how I do for this season as far as sports betting. I appreciate you watching. Most importantly, bet wisely.